Okay, I've got a question. What does a jalopy red truck, Washington, D.C., and a pregnant cow have in common?
Well, somehow, believe it or not, they are all key plot points in 2017's Christmas in Evergreen. We've got a lot to talk about, Jennifer.
We do, Josh, and we'll unwrap it all on this episode of Do You Watch What I Watch? Okay, so Josh, you've got Christmas in Conway, Christmas in Vienna, Christmas in Rome, Christmas in Love, Christmas in Toyland, Christmas in the Air. But in my mind, none of them hold a Christmas candle to Christmas in Evergreen.
Well, wrap this episode up. I guess we're done here. Watch it.
Boop, boop.
Spoiler.
So that's why I picked this one. So for our little 12 pods of the summer, Josh is picking 6 movies to talk about or to lead. I'm picking 6 movies. And I just had to talk about this one. It's a little older, relatively speaking. But I'm so glad we got a chance to watch it. Because Josh, you had never seen this one. And our queen, Ashley Williams, we're fans anyways. But we try to be unbiased and go into it, with a clear mind, or at least you did, I'm sure. So anyways, we've got Ashley Williams and Teddy Sears leading this one, which I almost read as teddy bears. And I think we should call him a little teddy bear. I have not seen him in any other movies, so I don't know.
Yeah, he was completely unfamiliar to me, which is sort of shocking because I thought he was really good in this role. So wonder what happened. I don't know. Are
you going to eat your ice cream while we record our podcast?
I was planning on it. You're leading it, so.
We're just real cash. Keep it a Christmas cash. Because when you record Christmas podcasts in May in Middle Tennessee, it's hot and steamy.
Yes.
And there are probably cicadas singing in the background.
There probably are. Dear listener, if you're not watching us on YouTube, and you should because it's fun to watch us gab, but if you're listening to us on Spotify, Apple, whatever, you should know that I recently invested in a Ninja Creami. Life-changing, really upped my game in terms of my desserting here at home, and I'm enjoying a little snickerdoodle, homemade ice cream with some graham crackers tucked into it for texture. So Jennifer, take us to Evergreen while I enjoy.
Not sponsored by the Ninja Creami, but if they want to, I mean, we could make a whole host of holidays with the Ninja Creami, I'm sure. Yeah, you could put some candy canes in it, a little mint.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
All right, so here we are in Evergreen. We open to a storybook being read, and we see our beloved town of Evergreen located in Vermont. The local diner has a snow globe on display that can be wished upon and grant your Christmas wishes. It's kind of a tourist attraction and also a local lovely thing to do. So in the first 5 minutes, we get magic, we get Ashley Williams, and we get puppies because she's a veterinarian. And what more do you need? Our leading lady, Allie, is moving to a big clinic in D.C. to be with her long-distance boyfriend, Spencer. Spencer. And to see if they can make a go of their relationship. Maybe if they're in the same town, things will get better because that's always how it goes, right? She's selling her veterinary practice and leaving the town that she loves oh so much. But she's donning a fantastic red peacoat, so I'm sure the odds are ever in her favor. We meet her mom, and mom is not liking this change at all. She's kind of trying to convince her to stay, but she knows Allie just needs to be a little bird and fly the nest. Or what's a Christmas bird? A turtle dove.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
Any of the ones from that song, I guess. Lots of flock. All right. Allie says goodbye, shakes the snow globe, makes a wish, and bumps into Bobo Santa Claus. There are snow flurries in the air, and she talks to Spencer on the phone, and he's a big city goon, is what I wrote. Allie is small town chic, and she climbs in her old red retro truck, and Spencer's like, hey, once you get here, we'll fly to swanky parties in my boss's helicopter, yada, yada, yada. It's obviously not her scene, but she's trying to be open-minded, and her truck sputters. Uh-oh. Cut to a different scene. We're in a car. We meet a dad, Ryan, and his daughter, Zoe, who are driving to the airport to eventually get them to Christmas in Florida. And I don't really understand their path of travel, but anyways, daughter's not happy. She doesn't want to spend Christmas in Florida. That's never where Christmas has been. They play a game, and they each list a Christmas thing for each letter of the alphabet, which seems really tricky, but cute.
I like that idea for a game, especially in the holiday season in the car. It can be really boring. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but what do you do when you get to the X, Y, and Z's of it all? I mean, she says later she does Zoe for Z because her name's Zoe. So that's a slam dunk. But what if you don't have a Zoe in your family? A zebra? Do you have a Christmas zebra?
Well, then I would say Zoe as a reference to Christmas in Evergreen.
The deepest of cuts.
Exactly.
So those in the car with you. So Allie's on her way to the airport, and a client calls Allie to do animal things. It's her town. So she goes to the barn. Her truck sputters, and the father-daughter duo... No, she's trying to get in her truck to go to the barn to help the animal things. Father-daughter duo pulls up behind her, looking for a place to grab a bite. She says, hey, go to the Kris Kringle Kitchen, which is her mom's diner, and they're like, thanks for the recommendation, and they kind of have a little flirty flirt intro. Allie gets to the barn to help with the... Was it a horse or a cow? I don't know.
It was a cow. It was a cow. Yeah.
Okay. It was a cow. I said cow earlier, and then I wrote horse here. Cow's birth, but turns out false labor. You know how cows get about that kind of thing. False alarm. Allie's on her way back to the airport. Back at Mom's restaurant, the daughter makes a wish on the snow globe, and she wishes that she could spend Christmas in Evergreen after being there all of 5 minutes. I mean, I don't blame her, but it was a very quick turnaround. Josh, if you had a magical snow globe, what would you wish for right now?
100 more wishes. No. World peace. No. I would probably say a break in the temperatures, number one, or a long nap.
What's long?
What's long in terms of a nap?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't.
There is a sweet spot when it comes
3
to
hours.
napping.
Like, I want a nap, so it's basically hibernation. Is
Yeah.
what I consider to be a nice long nap.
Yeah, I could go for a nice 2-hour nap, fan on, dark room, heavy blanket, classical music, the whole 9 yards. Yes.
Oh, classical music. Oh, my.
Yeah.
Atlanta.
I'm a fancy napper.
I evidently. Then do you dream of Beethoven and Mozart? Just whisk you away. Yeah. No, yes. All right. So Allie says goodbye to her parents again. Now, she's for real. She's leaving for the airport. Snow is flying, but the roads looked clear, kind of like they typically do in these movies when we have a little travel issue. But Allie bumps into Ryan and Zoe at the airport, and Zoe wishes again that she could spend Christmas in Evergreen. And boom, all flights canceled. The power of Zoe. This little girl shut it down.
It was shocking how quickly this aviation decision was made. Literally, it's business as usual. Then all of a sudden, some guy gets over the intercom. Attention, ladies and gentlemen, I regret to inform you this airport is now shut down.
Yeah.
It was
Cancel.
We needed to move the plot forward a lot.
They weren't even pretending like we're going to delay it. No, they just shut it all down.
Shut it down.
I think Margot, that controls the board's like, I got a Christmas party to go to, so let's just yada yada this right out.
Yes.
So Allie's terrible boyfriend, Spencer, thinks she's having cold feet instead of accepting that there's a major snow event. Maybe he saw that the roads aren't really that messy. Anyways, Allie goes to leave the airport to go back to Evergreen, and her truck won't start again. She sees Ryan and Zoe in the airport parking lot, and then she sees them inside, and she's like, you know what, let me have dinner with them. They all decide, let's pile into Allie's truck that magically now works for some reason, and they'll spend the night in Evergreen before their rescheduled flights tomorrow.
Stay tuned. Yeah.
I think Allie needs to maybe make friends with the local mechanic in Evergreen to get this
seriously, or buy something far more reliable. I mean, I get that it's a cute pickup truck, but at the same time, it's not practical.
It's not very reliable.
No.
Now, I do believe that. What were they doing in the diner that was so cute?
They were making snowflakes from napkins. And so she grabs this paper napkin and she folds it. You know when you take a piece of paper and you fold it up and then you use scissors? She was doing this with her hands. But it looked like she did it with scissors because she ripped maybe 3 little fragments of paper and unfurled it. And it was the most intricate of snowflakes. And I thought, well, Ashley Williams is indeed magical. So...
Well, she'd had that mani-pedi probably before she left Evergreen, and her nails were right for the It's kind of like Edward Scissorhands. Didn't he have a little scene like that where he's making paper snowflakes?
It was basically that, yes.
If Ashley Williams has never been compared to Edward Scissorhands, here's the first time.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Ashley.
Yep. All right, so they're hightailing it back to Evergreen because the roads are fine enough for them to drive on, but not for planes. Okay. Allie takes them on a detour because this cow, no more false labor. It's go time, labor time, for real time. Zoe names the calf Snowflake, and it's at this point in the movie I had a light bulb moment, Josh.
Oh.
So we loved October Kiss starring Ashley Williams.
Of course.
There was a father who had a daughter and a son, but the father's name in that movie was Ryan, and the daughter's name was Zoe. And this father-daughter are Ryan and Zoe. Mind blown.
Mind blown. Do you think Ashley even knows that? I mean, not good at all, but that's incredible.
I know. I just thought it was kind of kooky.
Yeah.
Anyways, meanwhile, okay, Evergreen, a water pipe bursts in the town hall, and they no longer have a place to host their fundraiser, which ironically was intended to benefit said town hall. Allie comes in and she's like, hey guys, let's move it to the farmer's new barn. I was just over there helping this cow give birth. Why he wasn't using his new barn yet? Don't know, but we're going to use it. Allie and Ryan have a heart-to-heart and, of course, end up standing beneath the mistletoe when she's checking them into the B&B that Ryan and Zoe are staying at. Next day, the town of Evergreen learns there's been a rock slide and the roads are shut down. No one can get out or come into this Christmas festival. Peril.
Peril. This is definitely the BMOP, the brief moment of peril. And Michelle, Allie's little friend who's now in charge of the Christmas festival, is capital F frantic, like really out of control, unbalanced, and about to lose her mind.
Yes, everything just keeps falling apart. Allie and Ryan are like, hey, we're stuck in Evergreen. Let's get together and make this Christmas one to remember for Zoe, since it's her first Christmas since her mother passed away. And Allie's way too invested with these people already, considering she has a boyfriend. Allie tells Spencer, that she's going to spend Christmas in Evergreen one last magical time. Even if the road's clear, even if the rock slide's clear, I'm just going to spend Christmas here, then I will come to D.C. Spencer's not excited about it. Allie then tells Ryan about Spencer being in the picture, and I breathed a sigh of relief because I did not like the flirty flirt with her having a boyfriend.
Exactly. I'm so glad that they had her do that early in this too, because I kept thinking, oh, is this going to be the oopsie doodle, right? Is this going to be the thing that he finds out about? And I'm so glad they didn't do that in this one. Yeah.
Because sometimes that happens in other movies we will be discussing potentially this summer, and I never like it. So I can move that rant to another time. They dealt with it. And then they exchange witty banter while stringing popcorn garland, like you do. At the barn, getting ready for the party, Allie's mom holds up a large holiday stuffed bear that looks like one of those, like Kmart, I think, sold them every year. And it was like, there was a female and a male bear, and they were fancy lads and ladies, and they had like embroidered ears on their little paws. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah.
And I never had one.
Always
Thinking back, why did I never have one? What?
That sounds like a therapy appointment to me.
You call and schedule a session of why I was deprived of the 90s, 80s stuffed Kmart bears. But okay, unrelated. So there's a problem again with the festival. No food because the roads are still blocked. Brief moment of peril number 2 of the movie. Allie, of course, has a great idea. Let's rally the townies. Let's get volunteers to bake while a Kelly Clarkson song plays. And I love Kelly Clarkson's Christmas music. And if you haven't listened to it, you should.
And I love a baking montage. And as baking montages go, this was as satisfying as they come. It was baking. It was friendly. It was fun. It wasn't too flirty. It was a little flirty. It involved a kid. It was really great. I was here for
He wasn't behind her trying to help her mix things or anything, there wasn't a lot of touching going on.
I don't need all that. No.
We don't need that over pastries and cookies.
Right.
Not 'tis the season for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not Ghost Patrick Swayze. You're not.
Yeah, quit it. Just
Quit
quit it. So they run out of ingredients, and Ryan runs to get more from her mom's diner restaurant place. And Bobo Santa puts a bug in Ryan's ear. that, hey, Allie doesn't have a Christmas tree at her place. She wasn't going to be here, but now she is. And he's like, great, I'll go get her one. Allie needs a tree. Even though she has a boyfriend, I'm still going to get her a tree because that's what friends do. He gets one, heads back to the house, but who beats him there? Spencer. Can you play like dun 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 music here? I'll just do it with my mouth. There you go. That's what it is. Okay, Spencer Ick is what I wrote down. Spencer arrived via helicopter, which would be a grand romantic gesture if we were supposed to like Spencer, but we're not. And so it's just kind of creepy and too much, and I hate him.
And there it is. Yeah. It was a grand gesture for a relationship that we knew Allie was not all that into, really from go. Like, she was tentative about going to DC from the start of this whole thing. And this grand gesture of showing up on a helicopter just felt really too much.
But can you blame him? I mean, for Ashley Williams, I would rent a helicopter and fly to her. Not in like a stalker way.
Right.
Just to be clear. I don't need a restraining order. I do love her. Okay. So this may be our last episode, folks. We might get shut down by the Ashley Williams Corporation. All right. So Spencer tells Allie, I don't want to take things slow. I want you to come to DC for Christmas. And oh my gosh, let the one make up her mind. She already said she's going to stay in Evergreen. Get it together, Spencer. Next morning, they're at the diner, but Spencer's working all day, and Bobo Santa suggests that Allie, Ryan, and Zoe go ice skating. Well, they might as well. Spencer's busy. Cut to, it's suddenly nighttime.
Random.
I don't know where the rest, were they digging ice skates out of an attic somewhere? What were they doing? I don't know. Unclear. Time passed. And Allie questions her relationship with Spencer to Ryan. Awkward. Christmas love triangle. They get a call that Michelle, who, as Josh mentions, is the townie leading the festival, is having a panic attack, but luckily Ryan's a people doctor, not an animal doctor, and they rush over to help her at the barn. He distracts her by making her recite the 12 days of Christmas backwards, which I don't think I could do ever, but it also seems like it's one of those things that like a jolly police officer might have you do around like if you've had too much eggnog around the holidays.
Right.
Like, I would fail.
A seasonal sobriety test, if you will.
Yes. So Michelle is afraid of letting the town down. It's too much pressure. She can't live up to the greatness of Allie. And everybody's like, no, that's nonsense. You're doing a great job. And she's better than. So I want to tell Michelle, if she could see into the future in a snow globe, one day she'll go on to be prominently featured in every subsequent Evergreen movie in the series. So it's going to be okay, girl.
Stay tuned. You'll be just fine.
Yeah. Yeah. The next day, Ryan makes a snow globe wish at the cafe, and Spencer is still nowhere in sight. I guess he's just very busy. I don't know. They get word the roads will be clear soon. So Allie and Ryan and Zoe say their goodbyes. Allie's sad. She walks through Evergreen, sad. And Bobo Santa must be psychic because he gives her just the encouragement that she needs to hear to convince her to stay, even though she was already saying she was going to stay. She goes home to Spencer on her doorstep, and she's like, look, we're done. We got to break up. Finally, she turns the corner, and after he leaves, she turns on the lights, and there's a beautifully decorated tree in her living room in all of its glory, and a card from Ryan and Zoe as a thank you gift for their time in Evergreen. I guess breaking and entering is okay if it's done in the name of Christmas.
Well, of course. And, of course, they leave a Christmas card on the tree that's from them. And you better believe it is a Hallmark Gold Crown card, as we can clearly see on the back of the card, hashtag product placement. Well done.
They didn't get the Dollar Tree 99-cent special.
No,
they did the local Evergreen grocer.
Yeah. This romantic gesture was worth the $5.99 that Christmas cards can cost these days.
In this economy?
Yeah, exactly.
I agree. All right. So Allie goes back to work the next day because, hey, she's staying in Evergreen forever. Open the doors of the vet clinic, get the fish back on the counter, and her mom comes over and she's like, hey, you need to track down Ryan and Zoe before they leave. Well, it's too late. They're already going to the airport, but oopsie doodle. What you know it, there's a mechanical issue and their flight is canceled again. Good night. Ryan sees Spencer at the airport and he learns that Spencer and Allie have broken up. So, of course, he beelines it to the festival at the barn and says, hey, I'll stay in Evergreen forever as their town doctor. Let's kiss. The festival's a big success. Everybody's happy. Oh, and Bobo Santa flies overhead, which makes me wonder, was he Bobo Santa at all? Ooh. The end.
Okay, so it's time for our Gold or Coal segment. If you're new to the podcast, here's what we do. Jennifer and I each give 3 gifts, much like the wise men showed up with gold and frankincense and myrrh. We show up with, our thoughts on this. And it's basically our hot takes. And if there's more gold here, so if there's 4, 5, or 6, we're going to call it, what are we calling it? We're taking flight. And if there's 1 or 2, then we're going to call it, we are grounded. And if it's a tie 3-3, we're just going to call it a Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Jennifer, you go first.
All right, so I don't think this is any secret to anyone. I love Ashley Williams, so she gets my gold. Now, she's not perfect. I have seen some of her movies that I am less enthused about, but to me, this is one of her standout roles. I think she just encompasses Allie and small town charm, and she's so sweet and likable and funny, and everybody's the glue of the town, everybody's friend, and I gotta give her gold.
Yeah, I'm giving gold, even though there is flagrant fake snow throughout this movie. I'm going to let it slide.
Be offended.
I'm going to let it slide because this is a literal Christmas explosion. If you want a movie that is all Christmas all the time, this is it. Literally, every Christmas thing you could ever want in a movie is jam-packed into this one. All of the feels, really warm, really comforting. It just sort of feels like this idyllic slice of American Christmas time fun, and I was here for every minute of it. So gold for me.
I will give gold for the father-daughter relationship of the reused names of Ryan and Zoe. Actually, don't know which one came first, this movie or October Kiss. I think October Kiss was first. Anywho, I thought their relationship was really sweet. In the beginning, he's on the phone a lot because he's a busy doctor. And I was like, oh, is this going to be the trope where he's too busy, he's ignoring his kid? And it wasn't that. He's like, I'm done. I'm here. I'm present. And he stuck to that. So he wanted to make this holiday magical for her. And they did a lot of fun things together. And he happened to find love in the process, which doesn't hurt. But I thought they were really sweet. And the child actor that played Zoe, I thought was really cute too.
She was good. I'm also going to give gold. Sometimes when you watch these, the townies can be really hit or really miss, And I think in this one, they were really hit. I liked all of the townie vibes and the characters. Specifically, I liked this vibe between Michelle, who is the woman, of course, running the Christmas festival, and then the town's new mayor, Ezra, who is clearly egotistical, trying to make a name for himself. They sort of had this little playful banter back and forth throughout this whole movie that I thought added some nice comic relief and was very true to life, because these are characters that you could see in your hometown too. And I just really thought that they were better than being one-dimensional townie characters. They actually had some layers, and I love that.
Yes, so much so that they did go on and make additional movies in the Evergreen series. They laid the foundation really well. Yeah. My last piece of gold. I love a fun villain. I thought Spencer was annoying and did a great job of me not liking him. So I think that's a good job by Spence. I'm just gonna call him Spence from now on. Mm-hmm. We're on that level.
I like that.
I thought, he wasn't over the top. Like I shouldn't say I hated him. He didn't really do anything wrong other than be overbearing and show up in a helicopter, which is a little much. But I thought you understood why they didn't need to be together. So
yeah. My last is also going to be gold. And you sort of spoke a little bit about this earlier with this relationship between these two leads, Allie and Ryan. But I like that this was a Hallmark romance, but not in the typical sense, right? It wasn't this sort of typical kind of meet cute, typical trope. It was sort of more budding friendship with a little bit of magic. And normally I'm not one for a magic one, but this sort of felt like it worked. I liked the whole snow globe vibe, that the wish of spending Christmas in Evergreen came true. A lot of times, sometimes magic can just be a little off-putting, a little cheesy for me, but this one actually, I think it contributed to the overall warmth. So as we told you, I think in the first 90 seconds of this episode, we really liked this one. And so it does get 6 gold. So we think it's absolutely taking flight. I am so so grateful, Jennifer, that you teed this one up as the first pod of Christmas that you wanted to do in the summer series. This is not a new one by any stretch of the imagination, but it seems like one of those that you could come back to every year whenever you needed a little bit of dose of holiday cheer.
Yes, I record it every year, so it's definitely one of my repeats. So very glad to get to see it again. Of course, if I watch it every year, you could think I'd know the difference between a horse and a cow in the barn. But, focus on the bigger issues.
I did, in doing a little bit of research for this episode, I did happen to note that there were some people who, know a few things about farm life who noted that the mom cow could not have genetically given birth to that baby cow because they are two very different genres of cows, which I was like, oh, okay, can we let it slide?
Yeah. I mean, cow actors are
Hard to
maybe
come
they were on
by.
strike. Maybe some of them were on strike at the time, and you just got to take what you can get. It may have been horses painted as cows for all we know. Don't
Who
know.
knows?
See that? I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Weren't there.
And that, dear friends, is another episode of Do You Watch What I Watch?
Special thanks, as always, to Mick Shores for our theme song and to you for listening.
Hey, if you like our podcast, we certainly are so thankful for all of our listeners and all of our friends and all of our viewers on YouTube. Won't you do us a favor? Write us a 5-star review. Go ahead and smash that subscribe button on YouTube and connect with us on our social media channels. You can find links to everything on our website at doyouwatchwhatiwatch.com. Hey, next time it's going to be episode 3 in our 12 pods of Christmas, and we are going to be recapping and reviewing A God Wink Christmas, which may very well now be known as A Christmas Coincidence. Who knows? Who knows? Jennifer's winking for you. But it's a 2017 movie, and here's the plot summary from IMDb. A woman who accepts her boyfriend's marriage proposal is invited to her aunt's home for Christmas and develops romantic feelings for an inn owner. We will have much, much, much to discuss. But until then,
May your days be merry and bright. We'll see you next time.